This month on HMP, we look back at the Naked Gun movies. So what better place to start than this latest one that came out this weekend? Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Welcome back, you dirty babies. It's time for another Half-Ass Movie Podcast, a show where we put together a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Portress, and joining me today, surely it has to be sweet Sean Kovacs from the internet.
Sassafras chicken indeed. Make it extra lumpy, boys.
And the only... Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. It was on loop. I didn't need to have it on loop. And the only surely he likes is Hemp Hill, Bruce Leslie.
You know, some people tell me I'm like a white Liam Neeson.
Listen, I'm sure many people would go around trying to claim that one, but we'll certainly get into that, everybody. But welcome back. We got another Half-Ass Movie Podcast here for you, everybody. And this week, we have decided to go back to the theater for the second week in a row. Is this time to see a comedy sequel over 30 years in the making, I suppose. Maybe. It's been 30 years. Let's put it that way. Well, The Naked Gun this time, just know from the Files of the Police Squad. I think that's really the only difference between the two titles, right?
Yeah.
Just no Files of Police. Maybe Police Squad is the thing that's copywritten. I don't know.
And anyone under the age of 30 has no idea what Naked Gun is or Police Squad.
I mean, we didn't really know what Police Squad was before we saw Naked Gun.
And that is true.
Most folks
are right.
didn't. Yeah, that's true. I didn't have it.
I only watched that show Hammer. That's the closest I got to Police Squad.
But we're gonna be checking all of these out.
Or Sledgehammer. I think it was called Sledgehammer.
That was the what's his face from I had a joke, but I lost it from damn it. All right, anyways, we're moving on. Before we jump into everything, though, we do want to say a big, giant thank you to everyone who is joining us over on the live stream. We're live streaming over on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Kick right now. And so we'd love to see you out there. Join up in the chat room. And, of course, we're doing our Dinger Zone right after our regular live broadcast here. Now, here's what I do want to say. After the live broadcast and everything, once I'm able to kind of chop it out, I chop the Dinger Zone out of there. So if you're here live, you can experience it live. But if you don't get here live, check it out over at patreon.com/HMP. That's where you get that. But we'll be talking our top 5 PG-13 comedies. It's gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be quite. There's a lot more than I had remembered because I was just like, well, let me see if I can remember something. Go ahead.
I think it's PG-13 or less.
Yeah, you can do less.
It could be PG and still.
Certainly.
Because I have a couple of PGs in my list.
But the ones that were a little bit outside of your kind of normal, no R-rated stuff. I think that's ultimately what we were kind of going
for. With we're looking at more family-friendly fare.
Yeah, I think I've got a Hays Code movie. That's why I wanted to make that clear.
Just get it straight for the people. They don't want to screw that up. Before we do that, though, I do want to say giant thank you to those people, as I said, that support us over at patreon.com/HMP. Those people get pre-show, post-show, Dinger Zone, as we just talked, and occasionally get to vote on some stuff. And I do want to say giant thank you to all those people that support over at Patreon and the folks that are over there on YouTube as well, because, man, we are so very close to that 20,000 subscribers. I think within this month we will certainly get there for sure. I want to jet past that, as fast as we can, but I think we are certainly on track for doing that, and that's because of you guys. We're putting out a buttload of content here. I'm doing what do we call it? Movie Magic Mondays, where we do the movie magic from the 90s and everything. We watch those episodes, kind of talk about those and the kind of history of special effects and stuff throughout movies. Tuesdays, we got TikTok Trash Tuesdays, where I go out on the internet and pick out movie-themed TikToks and whatnot, talk about them, trash some people sometimes, start fights on the internet. It's kind of what I'm doing lately. And you know what? Weirdly enough, it's paying off a little bit. We're starting to see some traction, so maybe I should start, stirring the pot just a little bit, but in a nice way, in a nice and respectful way. That's, I just want the boys here to not think I'm, sniping heads or anything. But all that stuff is out there. We got links for everything in the show notes, so do us a big old giant favor and do all that stuff. And remember that this here show is actually going out on Sundays at 8 p.m., so we'd like you to come hang out, talk in the chat here and everything, and drop a super chat here, aka Portress Bucks. Let me
Portress Bucks.
I didn't get the new one in yet, Sean. Don't worry. Just it's been a week.
No worries.
We got one coming down the pipe though. Eventually, you know how hard it is to recreate 30s music by yourself. It's a little bit tougher than one would think. You got to get a lot of cylinders and stuff to where you can just cut it off. Otherwise, it just doesn't sound right. You can try to do digital stuff, but it's just not the same anymore. talking to a Victrola or something like that. So do us a big old giant favor and do all that kind of good stuff. We appreciate you so very much, everybody.
Try to check out the live stream. It's kind of fun to have some interaction there, and you get to see that we've spent literally tens of dollars on lighting between the three of us.
No, there are literally, I would say, if you add it all up, at least hundreds of dollars. I would say if you put it all together,
dollars you can say safely.
I think I can safely actually say that. So good for us. So help pay those bills over at patreon.com/HMP, or just for heaven's sake, like it. And we got all kinds of weird things over on the YouTube and stuff now. I'm trying to work on all the special stuff. So stay tuned over there. Well, boys, we decided to get into the naked gun business in the month of August. And I got to say, I was going into this one a little bit trepidatious. Mm-hmm. Let's get into it, and we'll kind of get down to it. Here's the IMDb. Let me get it up here on the graphics correctly. I got too many jobs. All right, let's get it into the ship. Come on there, fella.
Now?
Sorry.
Now.
Here we are.
Oh,
here's the IMDb plotline for The Naked Gun. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. Only one man has the particular set of skills to lead police squad to save the world. Now, see, that's a good one. That is a great IMDb plotline because it's kind of like it's syncing us back to the old school Neeson here and everything, but still giving us like, but hey, we're still goofing around over here. This is written by Dan Greger, Doug Mand, and Akiva Schaffer. Directed by Akiva Schaffer, who did all the Lonely Island music videos. Yep, even that Lazy Sunday. And the new Chip and Dale movie. And, of course, the hilarious pop star Never Stop, Never Stopping. This movie, of course, is starring Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, Paul Walter Hauser, Danny Houston, Kevin Durant, CCH Pounder, and Cody Rhodes. So you know Bruce is at least giving it 3 stars on that alone.
You know it, brother.
With those two people, that's like, oh, that's a Bruce special all day long. Paul Walter Hauser and CCH Pounder, get out of here, dog.
Oh, I'm all about CCH Pounder. You know that.
So, like I said, going in, I think for years, I had always heard everybody talking about, like, if we were to get anybody to do another Naked Gun movie or something like that Liam Neeson would be that kind of perfect guy. Because like Leslie Nielsen in the original movie, he was, a guy who'd done a lot of serious acting and stuff like that. So when he was, thrown into this parody mode, it's even funnier like that. And that was a great thought for Liam Neeson, of course, with all of his, beat 'em up movies and everything, certainly after all the Taken movies and whatnot, to have him then come in as a cop and be, that bubbling Frank Drebin Jr. and everything. It sounded like, or even Frank Drebin at that point. I think no one really knew that we were going to go for a junior aspect or anything at that point, but we were like, that sounds like a great plan.
Before I'd even seen the movie, I had already decided that, they couldn't beat Liam Neeson to just bring sort of like just something that's just right to this role or just right to this character. Like, he's very different from Leslie Nielsen. He's not doing a Leslie Nielsen impersonation, but it's like they're strumming the same key on their differently tuned guitars or something like that. It's not a look-alike, but a feel-alike. And it really works so well for me. I think they could not have done much better on this casting.
Sean, first impressions.
So before having seen the movie, I thought Liam Neeson was a great person to bring in, right? Because we'd seen him in a comedy previously with what's it called? 1,000 Ways to Die in the West, something like that. Because he's the bad guy in that movie, and he plays that role pitch perfectly, right? And so I was like, oh, that's pretty great. And you start hearing things like him saying, I don't play comedies any differently than I play dramas. Like I play it all like it's a drama. And that's the secret sauce, baby. There's nothing less funny than someone who thinks they're being funny, especially when it comes to, for some reason, people who are more dramatic actors. When you see them in a role that they're generally someone who is used to playing a drama and then they're going to be funny in this movie, they kind of let you know that they think what they're doing is very funny. And Liam Neeson does not have that speed, which is great.
I think the perfect illustrative example of what you were talking about there, Sean, would probably be Tommy Lee Jones as the Riddler.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, because especially playing across, he tried to out Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey just didn't work.
Yeah, that's a big mistake.
Fortunately, we'll never have to review that movie again.
I wonder, I will always wonder how much cocaine on that set. And if Tommy got a little bump here or there. Feels like it might have been. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
So, guys, does the math add up? Does the math add up for Liam Neeson to be Leslie Nielsen's son, particularly in this movie? Or is that part of the joke that the math doesn't quite add up, especially not like sequel math?
I don't
like
think
Michael
it
B.
matters.
Jordan being the kid of Apollo Creed who died in Rocky IV.
I don't think it matters. I think that it's one of those things where it's like, hey, don't worry about it. Like, I mean, it probably doesn't. I haven't tried to do the math. I don't care enough to find that out. It's just, look, Liam Neeson is the right guy.
Well, I think the real question, because I'm for the absurdity, but I think the real fun part would be if he referred to Priscilla Presley as his mom. Like he was born sometime after The Naked Gun.
Yes, that would be funny.
Yeah, it's like it. Well, in one of the movies there is a kid, so like I've heard, because the kid with white hair, I forget which one it is. I've seen the picture, and we'll cover it this month to be sure. But technically, that's Frank Drebin Jr. right there. Now it don't add up to Liam Neeson's age, mind you.
That's funny.
I think they should. We should later find out the backstories. Like him and Paul Walterhausen were best friends in middle school. Like they're supposed to be the same age.
That would be hilarious.
That would be great.
It's like, oh yeah, this guy's 35 and this guy's 35. Oh boy,
that would be great.
Something quite wrong here. Let me tell you what happened to me in this movie, right? Because I knew very, very, very little, save for, our main stars here and everything. And I saw the teaser trailer like a lot of folks. And the teaser trailer is what kind of got me on board for this, because I was like, oh, it feels like I know what they're doing here. And it feels like they're going in the proper direction. So I ignored everything. I didn't watch any trailers. I got past everything. Couldn't believe it. So lovely. The weird thing is, though, is that I didn't know Akiva Schaffer was the director. And having known that, my assumption was that we were probably walking into a very rated R movie. And I looked around and I saw all of these old heads coming in here. I'm talking like 70s plus easy. And I'm like, oh my Lord, these people do not know what they're going to get into here, man. This movie's going, Akiva Schaffer movie, if it's going wild, it's going to get wild in here. And I didn't realize it was a PG-13 film. And as it went, you kind of started putting two and two together. But I was shocked, because I was just like, I had no idea that this was a PG-13 movie. But at the same time, too, while watching it, I never felt like they were kind of pulling any jokes, or like, they weren't being risque at any moment. It felt like they were, pushing as hard as you could a PG-13 movie, and still keeping it in that same kind of Zucker Brothers style, art form and everything, if you will, for lack of a better term.
Now, I know Akiva Schaffer did Never Stop, Never Stop in the Popstar movie. I haven't seen that. Has he done anything else that maybe is noteworthy or that I might have seen?
It kind of depends on, like, let me look it up.
Well, the easiest one, Bruce, is he was the guy who was, well, one of them, but kind of one of the main ones behind all the Lonely Island SNL digital shorts back in the day.
Yeah, I knew that. That's how I knew the Popstar Never Stop, Never Stopping. But I thought maybe he
did it. Well, he did a Chippendale animated movie a couple years ago.
At the top of the show. That's a pretty big.
That's the other big one that he's done.
Yeah, people love that. It was like a dimension hopping kind of thing.
He had one more in there. I forget. It was some other PG movie or something else like that. So he's done, family or friendly fare and stuff like that. So he's certainly capable of doing it. And that's something that I found in this one that I thought was fantastic for, again, a movie that I thought was going to lean in quite to a lot of the crudeness that you might imagine a rated R film would have. If they were going, it's Naked Gun for the 21st century, it's got to be an R-rated thing. And it's not. And I'm kind of so glad that it's not.
He also directed, I think one of the biggest things for him, like when it comes to like, oh, this is kind of a cornerstone of comedy, at least recently, is that he directed 11 episodes of I Think You Should Leave. And whether or not you like that show, I love that show, but that show is a bedrock cornerstone of American comedy these days. Like, everybody agrees this is a show that, like infinitely memeable, like everybody knows the bits. but more so than Saturday Night Live. Even I would argue.
I feel bad that I haven't seen it.
It's. I mean it. I don't know if it's your taste, Bruce, but I love it. I love the show.
My taste is pretty sophisticated, but I'll give it a try.
That also one of the best jokes ever. Bruce Leslie, my taste, sophisticated.
I'm waiting for the lightning to strike that man.
It's not enough windows in the house, I don't think.
I prefer the yellow moon pies.
Oh, fancy.
Oh. So, I mean, this is why I didn't want to talk out of school and why I'm looking at his filmography is because it feels like he and Andy Samberg, Akiva, speaking specifically about Akiva Schaffer, is that it seems like he and Andy Samberg are just linked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I thought that the movie where he is trying to be a daredevil,
Hot Rod.
Oh, I
Hot
love
Rod.
Hot Rod.
That's not an Akiva movie. I thought it was, but it's not.
Okay.
I think he wrote that one up, probably.
Yeah, he's got a writing credit on that. Yes, but it's one of those things where it's like, you think for the last 20 years, like these guys have made a whole lot of things together, and so I was kind of surprised to not see Sandberg in Naked Gun. I totally figured he would show up at some point, have a sandwich and leave. So when he didn't show up in it, I was like, oh, that's really surprising that they chose not to, because it's not like I would imagine Sandberg would of course say yes. Like even if he was busy, he's like, we'll figure it out. I can do a voiceover or something. There's nothing. I don't think so anyway, unless I missed something.
Can I top you one over that one though?
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane is a producer for this, and he is not in it at all.
Right.
Again,
right.
very strange for him to do. But it does feel oddly enough like there is a small Seth MacFarlane hand in there. Because if you look at Seth MacFarlane's work throughout the years, clearly influenced by the Zucker brothers a whole bunch.
Oh, without a doubt.
So
yes.
there's zero doubt about that.
I like to think it was like a Liam Neeson demand. Like he demanded to bring MacFarlane with him because he enjoyed 1,000 Ways to Die in the West so much.
I just think MacFarlane's got the money behind it. Like he's just got so much money that he can just kind of do whatever he wants, and he's been doing it for a couple years now.
He's definitely the money guy, and I mean, I don't mean that he's because there's no way he's putting his own money into this movie, sir. He's just able to pull it all together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he's not. But again, like I would certainly suspect him to come in and start waving his Seth MacFarlane flag around at some point, or have some sort of extra. A cameo that you would suspect from like a Micah Myers or something like that. That would be like extra, mustache twitchy and stuff. But it's not. He's not in it at all, and it's kind of lovely.
I figure he's set for life on account of all those voices he does on Family Guy.
Well, sir, the entire for no less than 10 years, he's made up a third of the programming on Fox Television. Like, my word, he has all of the money.
He's got that Mac.
There's a reason that his hair plugs are the best. The man is very, very busy and can afford it.
No, you know who has the best plugs in all of Hollywood? Because I was shocked when I learned that he's a plugger.
Who's this?
Joel McHale.
Oh no, I knew Joel McHale. Joel McHale also, like Joel McHale does have the best ones, to be frank.
Those are by far the best plugs I've ever seen. And he openly admits to having plugs, which I was just blown away by. I didn't think he had that speed in him. But back to Naked Gun.
I think he said it costs like 50 G's.
I don't doubt it. They look amazing, man. Yeah. I mean, it looks like my hair.
If you dial the the time back and everything, it looks like what he had 20 years ago. So it's like, good for you, bud. But yes, back to this film.
Okay, so Liam Neeson's hairline. Is this all Liam Neeson, or do you think he's
Liam Neeson has had to have a rug at this point because he has had the same hairline for the past 20 years at this point. So got to be a rug. And it is that kind of like weird. It's also the weird brown that's not quite found in nature.
Oh man, okay, that drives me nuts. Portraits, like fellas, it's okay.
Yeah, we can
let it go. Bruce Willis gonna go down as the only leading man who embraced his natural hairline.
He also has an amazing head. Like if his head wasn't perfect, there's no way he would have put up with it. The fact of the matter is, the man looked better with a shaved head.
Yeah, I got like a flat spot on the top. Sure. I shave it. It's going to look funny.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say him and Andre Agassi.
Man, Agassi's hilarious. Like going with the wig on while he's trying to play the game and he's screwing up because
he
openly
admitted to it though. Like that's the part that I think is all balls, right?
Oh
like, he could have lied like so many others would have. He's just like, look, man, I had a wig on. I didn't want it falling off. That's why I played so poorly. I'm like, hell yeah, Andre.
At least he let us know.
When will men ever be able to quit caring about our looks and just care about our talent?
Yeah. Let us rise to the top, please, on our own merits. I was like, I knew Liam Neeson was going to be good in this thing. And well, okay, here's another, let's start here actually. This movie started out, and I don't know what your audience was like, but my audience, and I found this to be the case with a couple of different types of comedies and stuff, depending upon what you're looking at. The audience almost didn't kind of give themselves permission to laugh for like the first 5 minutes. There would be jokes, and it was like they almost, because we're showing everything in a very kind of dramatized kind of way, we're being very straight with our comedy here and everything. It felt for some people that they didn't realize jokes were going on for a little bit. And then eventually they all kind of were like, and listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I was laughing out loud because I'm like, I'm just going to laugh at stuff. If you people don't get it, that's fine with me. But, you know, eventually they warmed up to laughing. And that was very bizarre to me. That I was like, oh, people just aren't used to laughing this much in a movie theater because there are just joke after joke after joke after joke after joke.
That opening felt just like the opening to The Dark Knight. I mean, it really is a heavy, dramatic opening, and it's kind of hard to laugh when you're impressed with the scene. I mean, Akiva Schaffer's I'm sure he leaned on his DP a lot, but he did a great scene here.
You know what? It made me wonder if they are sharing the location of the Dark Knight Bank, because it looks so much like the same bank, and the shots are even like kind of matched at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was wondering if it's the same, and we'll eventually find that out. But seeing it, you know, with fresh eyes, I was like, I think this is the bank. I think this is the place they shot Dark Knight, which totally makes sense. Of course, they should do that.
I would never argue. I mean, if it isn't the same place, they got the point across. You know, they definitely got the point across. And something else, I don't know how much help Akiva had when he's directing this movie, but the action scenes, the fight scenes in this movie, unironically, the fight scenes I enjoyed better than a lot of the fight scenes I see in action movies. And then the chuckles do help out too. But I was impressed with how well he did like the John Wick type thing.
So I am going to I'm going to take us off on a tangent here, and I'm sorry about that, but I have to bring this up because it's the first thing I think of when I think of this movie. So you guys seem to have enjoyed it a lot, right? You both had a great time.
Yeah.
The audience I saw it with last night also was laughing pretty spectacularly at this film. I now believe that I've seen too much and I'm comedy broken. And immediately there's a moment, and I'm just going to go into spoilers here. Sorry if you weren't ready for it, but so right at the beginning of the film, there's the moment where they're letting you know it's okay to laugh with the joke of the plot device.
Mm-hmm.
To me, as a comedy writer, I'm immediately saying to myself, that's too soon. That it's too soon for that joke. You can't break that kind of thing with your movie that's an hour and a half long, and already the suspension of disbelief has been cut off at the knees, unless you have a killer movie like for the rest of the way where no one cares. And so that was my first thought watching this, as I was like, oh no. And as we kept going on, I was like, oh man, like I'm not enjoying this like the rest of everyone else is. Like people seem to be like, don't get me wrong, I laughed out loud twice watching this movie, but I wouldn't say that I had a great time watching it. A lot of the time I was like thinking of stuff like, does Liam Neeson know he's doing a really bad American accent? Like his American he has one of the worst American accents I've ever
He's always
seen.
been bad. Yeah.
It's always been bad. And in this film, it literally felt like he wasn't even trying to hide his accent, that he's just an Irishman. And don't get me wrong, there is something inherently funny in that, especially when he keeps calling the owl daddy, daddy, daddy. Like that part. And maybe I was just in the wrong mood when I saw it, because that happens with comedies with me from time to time.
Yeah.
But there to me, there was something inherently wrong with the movie that was bothering me. And it's literally that, oh, you guys haven't timed out these jokes. Like this is not the time to tell that kind of joke. The time to tell that joke would be in the second act, like that kind of thing. And it's literally what kept me from really actually enjoying the movie. And I'm wondering if people who are really deep into comedy got the same feeling, especially someone who, you guys know how much I love The First Naked Gun. Like, I think the third act of that movie is flawless. It's the best third act to a comedy I've ever seen. And so I'm wondering if the problem, and I'm willing to admit, the problem might be with me. But when I was speaking to people at work this morning and they were asking me how The Naked Gun was, I was like, it's fine. It's totally fine. There's plenty of people laughing in the theater. I didn't laugh that much at it, but there were all ages at this theater, and I seem to be the only one who was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Why is that? Why are you cutting that so early?" And I found myself doing that again and again. There's a lot of moments in this movie too where I was like, "Oh, that's very clever," but I wasn't laughing. Like it's like, "Oh, that's a clever bit."
I'll say the plot device is something that felt like a missed opportunity to me. I wouldn't say it was necessarily pulling me out like it pulled you out, because I go into it and I was almost pulled out more by the seriousness of the opening and some of the dramatic camera movements and things during the fighting more than I was the jokes. I mean, because you're going to get the schoolgirl pulling off the latex mask and it's Liam Neeson.
Right.
I don't think the plot device is any sillier than that, though. I do wish they'd worked a little harder on the name. And I don't mean much harder, but if they called it the MacGuffin, I would have been more comfortable with that than the PLOT device.
Do you know how the size acronym you got to have for MacGuffin?
And that just opens
the
up
multiple
a lot of possibility for jokes.
Well, you got to you're not doing that unless you got some famous guy on your writing staff here or something like that. I was going to come up with a name, but I didn't have one.
And the M would stand for MacGuffin, because the bad guy would be Marvy MacGuffin, not John Kane or whatever they made.
Terrible.
It's also one of those things where I really wanted to enjoy this. This was not something where I was lying in the weeds. I hate this thing. Kind of like when you guys forced me to watch that terrible Power Rangers movie.
I go so far as to say you're a better person for it.
Oh, thank you. But it's one of those. It is one of those movies where I was like, I seem to be the odd man out here, and that happens from time to time. I like Adam. I know you have those moments where you're watching, where you're just blown away by everyone's reaction to a movie that you don't like, and this isn't a movie I don't like. I think it's fine. But I like everybody involved in this movie, and I want to love it, and I just can't.
For me, what I ended up enjoying about it is that it kind of felt like it did feel like a sequel. It felt like we were kind of doing the same thing, but yet different. And that kind of what we want out of Marvel and DC and stuff, where we say, hey, we'd like something new, but we'd also like to have it enough of the echo of the past that it still feels like the thing that we're, initially asking for. We want it to feel like Star Wars. And this has that kind of feel, is that it has that Zucker Brothers kind of feel to it, where it's here's, it's just joke. It's a joke delivery system. The entire movie is just called, here's every single joke that we could put through. And honestly, I think that was the thing that blew me away more than anything, was just the sheer amount of jokes that were coming through. I don't think half our audience even heard most of the jokes. Not even because necessarily they were laughing. It's just that they were coming so fast. There is a lot of jokes in here, from your visual jokes to, just wordplay and everything else like that in between. it's, to me, it's just like, I can't believe they did so much in, frankly, so short amount of time and everything. Because how long is this movie? It's not long at all.
It's 1 hour 25 minutes, which happens to be the exact same runtime as the original Naked Gun.
Yeah, and which I think
fun.
is about right at the point that it should be. You're not sticking around too long. I never felt like we were, hanging out when we shouldn't be and stuff like that. It always kind of kept moving and funny, stupid little rolling gags and stuff like that. I just call me an old fashioned dum-dum, but I mean, you're just throwing down coffee in every dumbass scene. I'm gonna laugh at that dumb crap every time.
That's one of the moments where I was like, oh, that's very clever, because they keep it going, right? It's something that they bring up 2 more times, which is, the comedy role. But then by the end, when they're throwing down, like, even they'll have like the garbage cans and they're throwing it in, and there's like a squish sound that happens when it gets into the can. And I was like, oh, that's really, really clever that they're pulling this off so well. It's just, again, it's one of those moments where I'm like, I think I am the only one here not laughing. It was so strange, man.
He walked out of the theater. There was a cloud right above his head and everything.
See, I would have thought the kind of things that would have gotten you out of it. I mean, I even made a little note to ask you how you felt about it, but the bathroom humor and the chili dog, Sean, that seems like a real negativo in your world.
What saves that bit for me is the fact that he had, he has all the awful moments, which I'm sure they're peeling you off the floor, Bruce, when that moment's happening. But the part that saves that entire bit for me is when he hates himself so bad because he has a second chili dog, and he's like, "Don't you do it! Don't you do it!" And he can't help himself. And even Busta Rhymes is like, "Don't do it, man!" And he eats it. That is one of the 2 moments that just made me laugh out loud. Where I was like, "Oh, that bit right there saves the 5-minute bit."
Okay, because I thought that might be a turnoff for you there, Sean.
I was stone faced during the first part of that, but when the second chili dog comes out and he's just filled with so much self-loathing, it's so funny to me, man. I did laugh out loud, and he's like, he even has like the self-hatred in his face at the time. It's so good. Such a good
the POV from his body cam, and it felt like Hardcore Harry, if you remember that movie, or Hardcore Henry, whatever that was called. And he's using his gun to cut line at the bathroom. I mean, I've had days where if I were the sort of guy that carried a gun, that probably would have happened. But that was nice to me. I mean, it's like, whoa, I'm in the middle of friggin' Mission Impossible 4, and it's about a guy who's got a turtle head.
Gotta go. Yeah, just like Neeson playing everything just absolutely straight the entire time. Just super perfect. Like, you could not have picked a better guy for this role. Zero complaints about it. I looked for things to go like, oh, what can I complain about? No. I didn't find much of nothing as far as performances go.
I think I know what the pivotal part of the movie is, that if people hate this movie, it's going to be because of the snowman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that definitely is one of those moments.
But so at the same time too, though, that also does not feel like it's out of the realm of any Zucker brother movie to have that bullcrap show up. There's never a note that goes, oh, this doesn't feel like the same brand, if you will.
Right.
Tell me if you think I'm off base here, but I feel like what they were trying to do is the thing where a joke starts out funny and it goes on too long, and then you bring it back around and it's funny again.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite Simpsons kind of like tropes. And the best way to explain that is the Sideshow Bob and the Rakes. It's funny for like 2 times, then it goes on for 6 times, and it's not funny, but eventually it comes back around to being funny again. I think that's
Too Many Cooks.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Too Many Cooks?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I call it the Too Many Cooks phenomenon. But I felt like this thing with the snowman was either too long or not long enough. I'm not sure which, but it seemed like it just didn't quite hit for me, though I did laugh a little bit at it, and I did enjoy their dedication to that particular bit. But I was so pulled out because the whole time I'm like, how far do you have to drive from LA to build a snowman?
Let's talk about Pam Anderson coming into this. She hasn't done some acting in a little bit, or nothing certainly of this particular scale and everything. I was always, listen, no one's going to sit there and say that Pamela Anderson's a fantastic actor, but she's always been quite the entertainer throughout the years, be it Baywatch or like VIP or any of these other kind of silly, shows and stuff that she would end up doing. She may not have ever been great, but she was always fun. She always seemed like somebody was fun whenever she was like on SNL and stuff. Seemed like she was very down to make fun of herself and whatnot. So I was happy to see her back and really kind of killing it for what she's asked to do in this movie.
I want to kind of piggyback on what you just said and say that I think this is the best I've ever seen her. There might be stuff I haven't seen. I'm not trying to argue with anybody if they say it's not. But for me personally, I think this is the best Pam Anderson I've ever seen.
Well, that was that one time when she played King Lear, but outside of that,
I think I like Pam Anderson now, when most of my life I couldn't have said that.
Pam Anderson has a secret talent that no one seems to have their finger on with her. It's that Pam Anderson, basically from her being the girl on Tool Time to right now, she's always known who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And she plays with that constantly. She's done it from the time that she's on Home Improvement. And she really goes for it in this movie. I think that she's great in this role. I think she's the perfect new Lisa Marie Presley. Am I getting that name right?
Priscilla.
Sorry. Priscilla. She's the perfect Priscilla, like, replacement, because she has kind of the same trajectory with her career, where like, oh, you're a joke. People only know you because of this one thing. For Pam Anderson, it's because she was hot and then she had a sex tape that she didn't want released. But for Priscilla, it was because she was married to Elvis. And so there's the same kind of like stink on her. But I've always liked Pam Anderson because I think that she's always known, like, look, I know what my perception is. I'm actually smarter than that perception. And even if it's just by 2 clicks of a dial, at least it's 2 clicks of a dial smarter than everyone thinks. And and to me, she's done that very well. And she does it very well in this movie. I mean, I couldn't believe the things that they were asking her to do, and she does well. Like her having a bebop and with the jazz song. And that goes on for what, 5 minutes?
Much longer than you would suspect it would end up going. Yes.
And she's fully game for the whole thing. It doesn't look like she's rolling her eyes. It doesn't look like she doesn't want to be there. And maybe all of those things are true, but you can't see it in her performance. And I think that that's what makes her so good in this.
And, the little behind the scenes romance, I guess her and Liam Neeson got along well on set, because aren't they a couple now?
That's what it seems to be, yeah.
Which goes to show you Pam Anderson still has a type.
Yep. which I thought was hilarious, because when we get to that scene in the movie and everything, which, by the way, best color commentary for seeing anyone's crotch that we've ever heard, and the camel hair whispers of the calves or something like that. It's like it goes into all this great detail, and then something about a salami fit for the Kaiser.
Some kind of bratwurst,
something like that. And it's just like, and of course, Liam Neeson also known for being quite the big gentleman.
Or an unbaked loaf of bread with an afro.
Again, just so much fun with that. I like how, again, Liam Neeson will show himself just disheveled and broken down and in the worst ways and everything. Like all the secret, hidden cameras and stuff in the car while he's driving and whatnot. Him just talking to himself and looking like an absolute madman. It's just, I don't know. It just endears you to this guy so much that he's just like, yeah, I'm game for all this. Let's do it. I'm 73 years old. Who cares? Let's see what happens.
He's not afraid to look ugly on camera, which you can't say for half of the people who are around his same age. You think of like all of the glamour shots of Tom Cruise, who's 10 years younger than him.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise would never allow that. And so it's kind of fun to see that stuff. Again, I don't hate this movie. It's just, I am broken. I understand. The problem is with me.
The fact that you were able to enjoy the second chili dog, though, there's hope for you, Sean. There's hope for you.
I thought that I might have broken out of what was happening to me watching the film when there's the voiceover from Liam Neeson where he goes, and she had a bottom that would
beg for the brown
toilet seat, beg for the brown. I howled. I was laughing so hard.
That was a gem.
I was howling. I was laughing so hard. And it was like, yes.
That was better. What was Leslie Nielsen's original when he saw Priscilla was like, she had the kind of legs I like, the ones that go all the way to the floor.
Right.
It's just, to me, that's how the whole movie, like there were moments where it was just felt like I have to stop laughing so much because it doesn't feel like everyone else is laughing nearly as much as I am to jokes sometimes, where it's just like, wow, it's weird that you people aren't getting, because they're just so many damn jokes fast.
Did you feel like De Niro in Cape Fear for a moment?
Sometimes there were certainly at the beginning when I had the same thing happen with What We Do in the Shadows. When that movie opens up and like he's so slowly coming out of the casket there when the alarm clock's going off, everyone in the theater was quiet as a mouse. I was laughing my balls off. I'm like, what's wrong with you people? This is hilarious. And this movie kind of felt the same, where it was just like it took people a minute to kind of start getting to the laughter. And even then, the jokes were coming so fast, I don't think everybody in the group was keeping up.
My loudest, most obnoxious laughter probably came with the Heat Vision jokes, and it surprised me that it struck me so hard. But I was laughing pretty darn loud during those.
Again, great old school, stupid ass Zucker Brothers style jokes that is right down their alley and everything. But it's doing it, neat enough and interesting enough to where it all it seems to make sense in kind of the modern day. It's a modern day Zucker Brothers joke right there, 1,000%.
That's another one of those moments too, where everybody around me is like there's probably like 10 or 15 people that are inconsolably laughing. And I was just like, to me, the thing that I liked about that scene and stuff like that, and while I don't find it the most hilarious thing to just like the dog is, having a great time, is the creativity of how they're making it look like in one way, shape, or form that what's going on, and how they're kind of the bullshit way that they're constructing all of that stuff. To me, that was the fun aspect of it. Was just like, all right, what are they going to do to make it look like, all right, it's more, you're right. That is more, you're like, that's kind of clever and stuff. But for for the dunderheads out there, they'll laugh their heads off at it.
The part that got me is when the dog bit the turkey baster and was trying to pull it away. That I wasn't expecting. Like the rest I could see coming. That one caught me off guard.
That's the one little extra that they give you right there. That's the, like, oh, you know this. You might not know that one though. And that's the tiny little, that's the button.
Is Liam Neeson cast because he has the same initials as Leslie Nielsen?
I don't think
did
so.
It go that deep?
I really think it's just because people have been talking about it for quite some time. Like even before this movie was a glimmer in Akiva's eyes, I would imagine that we were all kind of going like, if they were to do this again, who would we get? Because Leslie's gone here at this point. And Liam Neeson just kind of seemed like the perfect guy to do it.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Like, look, I think that even if you have a problem with this movie, and I'm not talking about myself here, even if you're an outsider and you're not a comedy snob and broken like me, you can look at this casting and be like, oh, this is right. Like even looking at the poster, you're like, oh, that's perfect. Of course, Pamela Anderson is going to play the Priscilla part, and Liam Neeson is Frank Drebin. That's perfect, and it just feels correct.
Is Paul Walterhauser having a big month?
Oh my gosh, is he ever
kidding, right?
Number one movie, number 3 movie. The guy is everywhere. And guess what? And a professional wrestler on top of all of it. The man that can't stop winning, I don't think.
Which is what he wanted in the first place.
Yeah,
so.
Which is wild. It's like I go the opposite direction. I go famous actor, then Oscar-nominated actor, and then I'm going to go wrestler.
Well, speaking of professional wrestlers, did you guys recognize Cody Rhodes as the bartender?
I didn't know until after. I didn't know till the credits rolled.
Yeah, he's got a kind of a distinct neck tattoo that you could just see the top popping out. So I was definitely certain that was him. But I didn't realize because he's got this incredible wig on. So I didn't notice it was him because his natural hair looks more like a wig than that wig does.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. It's like, wait a minute. Well,
it looks like a wig that's made out of like latex.
I was going to say
wig on wig action.
You use the word incredible. I use the word incredulous.
But yeah, I did recognize he was there, and I wondered if you guys knew who he was or recognized him. But also, I feel pretty confident they had to film that scene in Atlanta because that's where Cody lives, and it feels like the kind of thing you'll do if they're in the neighborhood, but you're not flying anywhere to do.
Oh yeah, it's like it's one shot and it's kind of like, up against a singular back wall, not a whole bunch of players or anything in the background. You just, that's an easy shot and stuff to get. That's a quickie.
And it's also not like a break the bank cameo. Like if he wants you to buy him a plane ticket, you're not sure if it's worth it.
I thought he also looked a little like Zac Efron when that head came up once. Was that bad?
I thought Zac Efron a lot. I was kind of surprised.
Wow.
I'm like Zac
Really?
Efron in there. Poor Zac Efron.
Yeah, especially after that Iron Claw movie when he roided out.
Yeah, he got all the HGH in him. Because that head is bigger, which means it's HGH, right? I mean, that's what HGH does, not roids.
But it's so yummy.
HGH gives you the frontal bossing.
He's got some of that stuff King Griffey Jr. was drinking.
Yeah, gigantism.
That tonic just does good for you,
What's funny is the drawing of King Griffey Jr. with gigantism looks remarkably like the last photos that were taken of Barry Bonds.
That's very true. I found so much funny in this. Oh, did you see any of the credit jokes? A lot of nice credit jokes and stuff, which was great.
I did
not.
I stayed right up to the point where it's the homage where I think it might actually be the actual clips from the movie where you see the cop car with the flashing lights going through all the things. Like, and then once it went to black, I was like, okay, I can leave now.
There's a lot of great little Easter eggs within the actual credits and stuff. There's one point where they're like, read these numbers, and they show all these numbers, and then they kind of get a little smaller. It looks like an eye test. And you get to the bottom, and it just goes, you didn't read any of those, did you? When it gets to the like little tiny bullshit jokes like that, kind of sprinkled throughout the credits and stuff. Where if you're looking, you'll find a little humor, and that's what this movie felt to me, was just like guys that were really that were in love with the thing that they're kind of doing a sequel to. It's like it really felt like a love letter to the Zucker brothers stuff. And that's what's killer to me, is that like how them saying, hey, we didn't put our stamp of approval on this. We don't like this. And it's like, what's not to like? This is your stuff, essentially. It's updated a little bit, but this is your bag.
They publicly spoke against this film,
as is my understanding. I could be wrong. Maybe it's something I've heard on the internet. Yeah, but
as a person who recently rewatched Top Gun, they may want to think of that whole glass house thing, man.
Yeah. It's
not that I say Top Gun, I'm in Top Secret. Sorry.
Yeah, same difference.
It's basically the same film.
I mean, they were kind of, it's the problem with comedy, man, is that, when you're on top for as long as those guys were, because I would say that for 5 years, those guys could make any movie that they wanted to. Once you're at that zenith, you're going to be taken down just because it's the way comedy works. Comedy builds on the thing that came before it. And they were having problems with that when the guys from South Park and the guys from Airplane made basketball. Like, if you remember, the guys from South Park were like, this joke is too old. Like, we need to fix this joke here. And it was like, man, they had been off their schneid for what, like 6 years at that point, maybe, and already they're getting those kind of comments on their bits for their comedy movie. That's kind of crazy to me. But it was happening even back then. And how old is basketball? 25 years old, 30 years old?
Yeah, but at least 25.
It's crazy.
Just about.
It's crazy to me.
How badly do you think the sort of Tesla jokes are going to date this film?
I mean, they will. Of course, they'll date it, but there's nothing you can do about that with comedy. Yeah. Comedy's just dated because it's 10 years older. Like,
I feel like this movie had to be in the can before some recent current events with Elon Musk. I don't want to get into, but he kind of was in the news a whole lot more than he had been, to the point where something that feels like it has a longer life or evergreen at the time you're making it than has a in that post-production pre-release time, something happens to make the joke feel more dated than it is. And I think they were a little bit of a victim.
Well, let's look at it from this standpoint. Let's look at it on the other side of the coin here, because maybe we can make that argument. But I could also make the other argument that there's a lot of things in here that don't set it up, at least I think, for memory, to have it age a whole lot. Because you know what, you don't see a whole bunch of this, say for him kind of snapping them in half, cell phones. Like that's the running gag that he's snapping those and stuff. Yeah. Exactly. But we don't have any like kind of smartphones. We're not doing anything like that. We're not seeing a whole bunch of screens or computers. So that kind of stuff will help keep this as a more evergreen thing for a long period of time, which I think is good. So at least they're being smart, not doing stuff like that. And for example, when we saw the teaser trailer and everything, and thankfully it's the first scene of the movie, more or less, or two scenes of the movie, where all the former cops have died and everything, and their sons are there, crying for them and everything, and we go to the black guy who's looking up at the OJ picture, and I think all of us thought like, oh, well, this will be kind of the new OJ of the flick, and then he'll be part of the. No, and he's not. It's just a one-off joke, and we
one and out, baby,
which is so nice. I was kind of prepared for us to have a whole tag along partner and everything to have OJ jokes dropped, which I'm so glad that they didn't do. What great fortitude that you've decided to pump the brakes on what would seem like the obvious thing to do. Good job.
Yeah, they gave us an obligatory cameo, so they say, yeah, we know that this has to happen somehow. We got to address this, but then they just have the guy shake his head no at the camera and move on. I don't think he could have handled that unpleasant situation.
It was perfect. It's perfect. It made it funny. Everybody in the audience got a little chuckle, and then you're right on, and you keep moving, and you don't have to think about it again. Good stuff.
Can I also say my favorite thing about this movie is what this movie doesn't do. There is no moment where there's a CGI Leslie Nielsen in this movie. And the temptation is definitely there to do that. And what I'd like to think is that better men made this movie, and it didn't become a thing where like the Leslie Nielsen estate was like, no, absolutely not. I'm hoping that the people who made this film were like, that is a bridge too far. We're not going to do that because that's the cheapest thing you can do.
And the action itself wasn't like you could imagine this going down a, no disrespect, but a Scary Movie kind of route, like a Wayans Brothers sort of route, to where it's like it just ain't that good, and like you could see that easily happening here. And it's like, no, we had straight, real, honest to God fights. We got stunt doubles for this stuff, and then we do funny things. Like I found out that the gun that he eats and everything was just like a hollow, like they did a chocolate Easter bunny but with a gun. And so that's how he was able to eat, take a big chunk out of that.
I think the closest they got to Scary Movie territory was the Dave Bautista thing at the end that it wasn't really even a joke. It was just
No, I look, man, like what it reminds me of is it's kind of like the "I'm gonna get you, sucker," or like the joke, because it's the joke where we're putting in the stunt double who looks nothing like the guy. Right.
Oh yeah. No, that much. I like the concept of that because, like I said, I've mentioned it.
I don't feel like we saw Bautista. Okay, I'm sorry. You had frozen up there for a minute, Adam.
No,
I was trying to
a little bit. So I had like that's something that I had like thought about. Oh God, I'm fine over here.
I can bring him back by trying to make my point here.
Now I'm dead. Shit.
But the reason it wasn't funny to me is I didn't see an obvious stunt double in the action scenes.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is I think they threw it in there because it feels like the same flavor. It's one of those things where it like reminds you of something from the past, like because they definitely have those sort of jokes in here. Like think about like when he's going to when Liam Neeson first walks into that club with Houston. Is it pronounced Houston?
Yeah, Danny Houston. Mm-hmm.
When he's in that club with Houston and he's like, and Houston says, well, do you mind if I ask you why you're here? And Neeson goes, not at all. and there's a pause. That pause, which by the way, the editors of this film are doing a great job because they picked the perfect time to cut, where it was almost like you want to go 1 or 2 seconds longer than you probably would generally.
Yep.
And that cut was perfect. that is also a flavor of joke that you've seen 100 times in both Naked Gun and the Airplane movies, right? And so it's sort of like that George Lucas. It's like poetry, it rhymes, that kind of thing. That kind of is the feel that I'm getting with a few of the jokes that are in this movie. It's like, oh, this feels like something that might have been in the original Zucker Brothers stuff.
And that's the whole movie felt like it was just like what let's make up a movie based upon the maybe not leavings, but the jokes we didn't end up using in other one of these movies and stuff like that, and cram them in here because they seem so at home in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, something that the Zucker Brothers did, it's kind of a classic part of what they did is they would take a serious movie's plot and apply that to the comedy. Like Airport 77 was
right.
Airplane, and then sort of the Manchurian Candidate, of course, is where we get Reggie Jackson's character in the original Naked Gun. But here, the plot they are using comes from Kingsman in I don't know if Kingsman took it from something else, higher profile, and that's where they're taking it from. That bothered me a little bit because I felt like Kingsman is itself sort of a satire of a genre. It's kind of a new take on like the James Bond thing. And it's weird for a parody to take a satire plot rather than maybe steal something from something that's a little more straight.
It doesn't matter to me either way. I'm not precious about it. As long as it's funny, that's what I give. That's what I care about ultimately. It's like, are we laughing at the end of it? I mean, if you make it up out of whole cloth or Bart from a page out of Current Affair, I don't care. Make it funny.
I just felt like there were more relevant plots they could steal maybe than the one from Kingsman. That took me out a little bit, maybe because we were so close to comic book movies for so many years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like it's a good enough thing as anybody. I always kind of like a little rage device where it's just like, all right, then people just go nuts. What do you want? Shut up. That's how we just get out of this loop.
The opposite of calming them down was calming them up. At least we did get that question answered.
That is true.
Stupid little bits like that. I just that's that kind of dumb crap is right up my alley here.
The last thing I'll throw in on my notes here is we did. I don't know. You guys have any thoughts about the cameo of the Nice Beaver?
I loved it. I thought that was great. A nice touch. You're just walking by it. It's never mentioned. Again, another moment where you're like, oh, you could have leaned on that harder. And there's a few people who are probably upset that you didn't, but that's the way to do it. They did it perfectly.
Yeah, you don't want to go too long.
That's the one I was worried they were going to get carried away with, and I was really impressed that they didn't. It's there for people who want to see it. If this is the first time you're seeing a Naked Gun movie, like why are they showing that stuffed beaver? They don't really linger on it that long. So I thought that was the best cameo in here, better than the OJ cameo. Put me on record as saying I prefer the taxidermied beaver to the picture of OJ.
All right, well, controversial takes. We'll take them here on the show, I suppose.
Coward.
Now, if you had to recast this movie, who would you do it with? Anybody?
I think the casting is perfect, man. Yeah. If you go another way with it, it's not going to be the same thing. Like it's one of those moments where, like, when you're looking at the whole of this, you're like, oh, they cast this perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you're looking at something like Paul Walker Hauser, like, oh, that's perfect. That's exactly who should be Ed's son. Like it's kind of perfect.
Yeah, everything just kind of falls into place, and you go, well, I don't know that you could do much better than that. So I chose the opposite route of that, because when you can't get the good one, you got to go for the opposite bad choice. And I said, if you want to see this movie done and done horribly, let's put another person that's in a little bit older than Liam Neeson, but why not? William Shatner. Could you imagine how bad this movie would be if William Shatner was in this role?
Bad.
So bad.
I think it's a different movie and not a better movie, but I'd be curious as heck to see what Tom Cruise did as Frank Drebin Jr.
Oh man, he'd be trying to outwork it. Like think of his role in what's the movie?
Les Grossman?
Yes, where he's playing Les Grossman. Like just how hard he was working in that comedy. Like, look how funny I'm being right now.
Killing it.
Aren't I hilarious?
If they could just get him to do his Mission Impossible delivery and do the lines, it'd be great.
It would. Also, one of the things I want to talk about for a second is there's something great about having Kevin Durant be in this movie as the henchman, because he's kind of the perfect person to put in this as well, right? Because you have him playing somebody who's kind of creepy, which he's great at those roles, but they don't overuse him being silly. The only moment I can think of where he's being overly silly is when the still photos are being taken and he has, different hats on and stuff. And
that's fun.
That part's so fun, and it works because it's that guy.
And you don't continue that anywhere else within the thing, where it's just like it's located to this one spot, and that's why it's funny, is because it's juxtaposition to everything that you've seen from this character previous.
Right. It's one of those things again where it's like, oh, that was very, very well done. But since Sean am comedy broken, Sean am not able to laugh like human.
He's just throwing stuff at the screen. No. What do you mean?
It's like when you like a girl when you're a little boy, and like, I'm just gonna start hitting her because I don't know how to deal with these emotions I'm feeling. I just start hitting people.
I don't know how to laugh anymore, and it's your fault, Daddy.
The robot am broken.
If I reach the point I can't laugh at a fart, I don't want to live anymore.
Send me out with one. All right, it's all come down to this. Bruce, what's your star rating and recommendation for The Naked Gun 2025?
Oh, man, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of concerns because, it'd be real easy to mess this up. Not to mention I've gotten to the point where I feel like I don't have any need for a legacy sequel in my life. But I had a great time, and I'd like to rewatch it. And I'll rewatch it a lot whenever it's streaming. It was kind of cool to see this kind of movie on a big screen again. I thought maybe we'd go the rest of our lives not get this kind of comedy with a budget behind it and wide distribution, and not be just Scary Movie 12, which I think they are making another.
Oh, yeah, they're doing another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'd be dumb not to make
boy.
it.
And this is... You got to take into this rating the fact that I'm an aficionado of absurd comedy and farce and that sort of thing. I like the original Naked Gun stuff pretty well. So I'm going to give this a good solid 4. I'm going to give this 4 stars. I think I'm not going to regret giving it that either.
Sean, disappoint the people.
I'm not trying to. It's just going to happen. There's a couple of things about this movie. You have to watch your audience that you're recommending this movie to. If you are speaking to someone who is, because I know that no one who's watching our show would be one, but like if you are somebody who just thinks the Fast and the Furious movies are the best, you are not going to watch this movie and think this movie is great. You're going to hate this movie, quite honestly.
Dominic Toretto's so much funnier than Liam Neeson, let me tell you.
When The Rock is being funny in Fast 5, that kills anything that happens in this movie.
He breaks that cast off. Hilarious.
It's so funny. And so that's kind of what you have to watch for with this movie. I understand this is a funny movie. I just didn't laugh at this movie. So I've got to give it 2 stars. This is a 2-star movie for me.
Oh, that's harsh. I'll be curious to hear what comments that gets.
I can't recommend it. Look, I get that the problem is with me. I understand it. But I found myself looking at my watch a lot with this
I thought he was going to say, I found myself looking in the mirror afterwards and going, who is this? What's wrong with you?
Actually not openly weeping, wondering why I can't cry, just like in a mirror, like,
why am I broken?
Right.
I should feel emotions here some way, somehow. What's happening?
Why am Sean broken?
For me, I had a great time. This felt like a movie that I would definitely kind of just put on in the background all the time, just because there's just so much stuff going on in it, and it is just chock-a-block full of jokes. And I think there's so many things that you'll go through and watch back 2-3 times before you kind of caught, next to everything that's in this, from your visual gags to just little crap that's going on in the background. It's like, oh, we named this building this thing, or, some other, characters doing something in the background. It's just, I don't know. For some reason, I just had a heck of a lot of fun with it. I bought the chemistry with our two leads here and everything, which, seeing people in their, 60s and stuff, what a great job. What an amazing world that we live in where we allow this to happen, where we're not going like, well, they need to be 25-year-olds. No, they don't.
Gross.
Have them be old.
In love.
Have them be old. And here's the thing. She's doing such a great job. And like, I love what her character's doing. I love, how he's reacting to everything. It's just a boatload of fun. And again, at PG-13, I was shocked at how much it felt like we were kind of getting up to as close of a line that we could, but it never felt like we were, going for super low blow jokes, save for a couple things that are obviously the low blow, your infrared vision, that kind of shit. Yeah. But outside of that, but even that's not like pervasive throughout the entire thing. It's not like it's a completely just a dick joke throughout everything. It's certainly not that, which is good. But yeah, I'm going 4 stars with this as well. Nice, solid one. I'll definitely be going back to this. And for something that I thought was like, this could turn out bad, I'm so glad that it turned out good. But I think that's ultimately because we've got a decent enough director on this. And between this and Popstar Never Stop, Never Stopping, he's probably done the funniest 2 movies in the past couple years. So I'm trying to think of ones that are, better in my opinion. But I can't think of any. But
I think there was a Medea movie you missed.
Oh, that's true. I did miss Boo Medea 2.
Also, I mean, what we do in the shadows does have the funniest joke of the last 20 years in it. I mean, it doesn't even come close. No other joke comes close. Do you guys know the joke I'm talking about?
There's a lot in there. I'm trying to remember.
It is the thing that I marvel at how great and how simple this joke is. So guy's asking vampire, hey, what's the deal with all the virgin blood and vampires? Like, why is that such a big deal? And the vampire goes, well, imagine that you're eating a really delicious ham sandwich that someone has fucked. It is the funniest joke. I laughed so hard. Killer. I
haven't seen the movie. I've only watched a couple episodes of the show.
No, the movie's fantastic. It
is. I mean, both things are great.
Yeah,
for totally different reasons.
But the initial one, just because it was just like, oh, this is kind of coming out of left field here. So I guess when you see, at least having seen the movie, when seeing the show, it's like, it's good. But like, I'd kind of, not to say that I've seen the joke before, because there's more than just one. It's not just one joke. But anyways.
The popcorn guy at the movies once said I look like Matthew Berry. Is that his name?
Oh, I could see that.
So that's why I watched a couple episodes.
That's why you could just run into the theater and just go, Father, and just see what happens.
Damn you! What's the actor he hates? I can't remember. With Toast of London, there's the actor that he hates so much that keeps showing up in places. He's like, damn you! I can't remember.
The chat will remember.
Blimey.
That'll do it, everybody. But don't worry. You think we're done with the Naked Gun? Fear not, my friends. We got more Naked Gun than you can possibly imagine. Look what came in the mail today, everybody. Yeah, that's right.
Whoa!
We got all 3 on Blu-ray for $15. So we are covering all 3 of the original Naked Gun trilogy movies, starting next week with the original, The Naked Gun, from the Stories of the Police Files. I think we're gonna give it that full proper title every time because we're respectful over here. So tune in next week for that, and we really appreciate that. In the meantime, Bruce, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
Oh, Halloween is on the horizon. You want to go over to YouTube and watch Werewolf Fighter. It'll get you in the spooky mood for fall. So go look for Werewolf Fighter. It's an award-winning extended short that I made with my family.
Spirit of Halloween starting to open up. You got to watch out, boy. It's going to hit you. Sean?
Hey, can we all back off of the fact that it's almost fall? It's August. What are we talking about? Maybe Bruce has a pass on this because he lives further north than either you or I do, Adam.
Oh, yeah.
But, Adam, we've still got 3 months of summer to go.
Yeah, it's balls hot out here, everybody. I ain't even playing.
I mean, Bruce, you can be forgiven for this. But Adam and I mean, my Lord, you have to literally think about your Halloween costume. Like if you're going to go to a party or something, like, okay, so I can't have a jacket because I will die.
I need a dinosaur suit with fans pointing at me.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's why Adam always goes as a sexy librarian.
Listen, you give people what they want. That is it, everybody. Join us next week when we're talking the original Naked Gun from 1988 for Sweet Sean's Kovacs from the Internet. Bruce Leslie, I'm Adam Porter, reminding you to be dirty babies and go watch the movies. That's the wrong thing. Damn it.